honesty. In Abuja, kidnappers who abducted 10 persons from an estate, Sagwari layout in Dutse on January 7th, reportedly killed 3 of their victims to send a strong warning to the relatives negotiating ransom payment. It was also gathered that the bandits had increased their ransom demand from the initial sum of 60 million naira per person to 100 million naira, now totaling 700 million naira. Residents, the victims, were allegedly killed over the delay in raising the ransom demanded by the kidnappers. Pushed to the wall, residents of Sagwari layouts have perfected plans to stage a massive protest against perceived inaction of government and security agencies in rescuing their kids and kin. In the wake of the increasing wave of kidnapping by bandits in Buari area of the council and some other parts of the territory, the Federal Capital Territory, Minister Ezenwo Nyesom Wike summoned an emergency meeting. At the opening session, Wike assured residents that his administration and security agencies were not sleeping, urging them not to panic. Now, if you have any question for us, you can send it, or you have any message you want to participate on the program on record where every word matters, you can send it to 0907 224 5018. You can send us a message on WhatsApp on 0907 224 5018. You can equally call into the program 0700 1021 1021. That is 0700 1021 1021. I told you earlier that our topic of conversation this morning borders on insecurity, of course, but it is the rise in recent kidnapping and outrageous demands 100 million naira to secure the ransom of one person from the kidnappers' den, and they have 7 of those. It was formerly 10, 3 have been killed. The government is in a tight position, and of course it will definitely need Nigerian support. The military has been doing their best. We know the military has been doing their best. We know that. Well, my guest this morning will be High Chief Umoru Darlington, security expert and security consultant. He will be joining me on record this morning. We'll go on a break. When we return, we'll jump into the business of the day. It's on record where every word matters. Don't go anywhere.
If it's public opinion, expert analysis, information that matters to you, we have it on record. Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM. Call us 0700 1021 1021. WhatsApp 0907 224 5018.
Fun just got real. Looking for where you can have all the fun as promised for you and the kids? And yes, daddy included. High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort is just the place. Over 60 rides and games with all the food you can imagine. From mega-sized pizzas to super chili ice creams. And even a 5D cinema. Yes, a 5D cinema. The biggest amusement park is in West Africa. And guess what? It's here in the city. Come and have all the fun you can at High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort, located on Kilometer 12, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Ibafo via Lagos. Call us on 0814-229-9509. High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resort, fun just got real.
Good morning and once again, and welcome to the program. It's on record where every word matters. My conversation this morning borders around topic insecurity, the rise in recent kidnappings and outrageous demands. My guest this morning is High Chief Umoru Darlington. Is joining me via phone call this morning. Good morning to you, Chief Darlington, and welcome to the program.
Good morning and good morning to Lagosians and Nigerians. I'll be speaking to you from outside the country this morning.
Yes, I was going to tell our listeners that you actually you sacrificed a lot and made out of your very very busy schedule, even though you are on. You are outside the country to making your time, yourself, and your services available. We really want to say we appreciate your efforts for joining us this morning on the program.
I'm actually on another national assignment on behalf of the country. That's what took me outside the country.
Okay.
This morning.
All right. Now, let's jump into the issue. Well, if it is this, if you feel disposed to tell us what you on the assignment, if it borders on security, insecurity, or within the confines of Africa, and the role Nigeria is playing. First, before we delve into the meat of our conversation this morning.
This one is not really on security. Every Nigerian is aware that the African Cup of Nations is going on in Ivory Coast, and Nigeria is featuring. Yes. And so we've been one of those who have been asked to come and give lend support to the national team, and so that's why we are in Abidjan. Nigeria is playing tomorrow. They played their first game against Guinea. They'll be having the second game against the host country, Cote d'Ivoire, tomorrow. A lot of expectations, tensions are high, particularly because we are playing against the host country.
All right.
We're not going to be playing against the host country alone. We'll be playing against the fans.
All right.
The citizens of the place.
I see.
It's a huge task.
All right. Well,
that must be achieved.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great, and we want to wish the Super Eagles success ahead. However, let me bring you back to Nigeria, and the reality is storming us in the face. I know you follow issues, and you are not unaware of what happened yesterday in Ibadan, Bodija, but that is going to come in the middle of our conversation. Now, the spate of insecurity at the moment seems to be increasing, going to a whole different dimension, and that is not what the government and Nigerians want for our country. So, starting from late Yaradua's administration, let me take you back a little. From late Yaradua's administration to Goodluck Jonathan, to Muhammadu Buhari, and to the current administration of President Bola Tinubu, has there been any significant rise or decline in the level of insecurity that Nigerians should hold on to? Something that gave Nigerians some level of hope that we might, finish. We might just it was brought down to the very very low.
Well, if you ask me, I think we will not be fair in looking at all of that holistically. You may want to ask me why. The face of conflicts we've had across these various administrations they differ. Okay. In the era of Yaradua, we were not faced particularly with
terrorism.
What do you call it? Terrorism. What we had then was the issue of our men in the south.
Okay.
Particularly in the Niger Delta, where the people were fighting for their freedom, where we had a series of kidnapping or bombing of pipelines, protesting against all of that to ensuring that Nigeria does not actually export the required number, the figure of barrels they have to boost the economy of the country. So that was what we had that Jonathan inherited, and then you are aware that was what brought about amnesty.
Yes.
The Yaradua administration. Please, I'm already please. Sorry, please.
Please go on.
I'm doing that. So sorry, we are somewhere, and a meeting is actually going on. I have to step out.
Okay.
And now that was what brought about the amnesty introduced by the Yaradua's administration that actually brought down the battle in the South, the Niger Delta, the uprising. You know, if you remember all of that. And then Jonathan inherited that, and then gradually the terrorism thing started brewing from that level. And so if you talk about Jonathan, yes, Jonathan was able to bring down and conquer completely what you might describe as insecurity in the Niger Delta.
Okay.
The fight that took place during his own era.
Yes.
Okay, and then Jonathan also inherited that, and then gradually the face of insecurity started changing. And but today, between the Buhari inherited insecurity because that of terrorism, which started also in the era of Jonathan.
Yes.
Buhari inherited that. The thing got so bad from Borno and the northeast, and moved over, advanced to Abuja, you know, in the era of Jonathan. And then gradually the government fought it, and they were able to be pushed away from Abuja, back to the other part of the north. And then this time, it's still the same. The conflict now, you know, there's also the other phase of the conflict that is in the north central, which is between the herders and the farmers. That basically that phase of conflict is found on the north central, which has that one has always been there in the north central, particularly in the plateau.
Okay.
In those days, even before the coming of the terrorists, you know, because those ones were never branded actions of terrorists. And so if you want to begin to look at them, you need to separate all of them and then tie together those of them who share common conflicts together. And then that's when you'll be doing justice. So that's when you'll be doing justice to it. And very well.
All right. Now, let me take you to the next phase. So what led, you know, recently we've been having attacks and kidnappings. In fact, the spate of kidnappings and attacks, most especially in the Federal Capital Territory and other contiguous states, you know, is taking a whole different dimension. And from your own perspective, what do you think would have led to this?
When you say different dimension, I don't understand. I need some clarity there.
Okay, yeah. Recently, there was this attack and kidnapped about 6 family members where the father was released.
The one that happened in the estate in Abuja.
Yes, the one that happened in the estate in Abuja, where one of the kidnapped girls was killed just to send a strong message to the family and for them to make their monies available. There is another case where about 10 people were kidnapped and 3 was killed just to send a strong message to the family members or to the people.
It's the same set of people. The kidnap is the same set of people taken from the estate. The 10 people that were taken from the estate, I guess, was from where the kidnappers killed 3 now.
Okay.
And the balance 7 is the one they raised the ransom from 60 million per head to 100 million. And then the papers are summing up the total to 700 million.
Yes. So now the minister of the Federal Capital Territory is summons the 6 municipal heads and all security agencies with other parastatal heads of the Federal Capital Territory administration that it is getting out of hand. Why does it appear this way at this particular point in time in the FCT and contiguous states?
Well, security is the business of everybody. It is not surprising that the bandits were able to gain entrance into Abuja. Over time, a couple of years before now, you will remember that bandits had shown their presence around Abuja, particularly with the neighboring states. And sometimes they had sent warning. Don't forget that the bandits had an attack on were they bandits? They had attack on this presidential force where some persons were killed. So if anybody is surprised that bandits were able to invade an estate in Abuja, then that person apparently is not being fair. So the only thing we had expected was that Abuja, being the seat of power, should have tightened up its security arrangement better, to ensuring that these persons do not really penetrate Abuja, just like we had in one other administration the last time, when Yanya was bombed, when certain supermarkets were bombed, and lots of lives were destroyed. Those were not in the era of kidnapping. Those were the era of the Boko Haram penetrating into the Federal Capital Territory to destroy lives.
Okay.
But now what we are suffering from is apparently the activities of bandits that are coming in now to take people for ransom. And then now what they did was, after taking those 10 persons, they've been negotiating, but they said the negotiation has been delayed. And so to prove that they were serious about their business, they had to kill 3 persons. It's appalling. It's appalling. These bandits should not be allowed to gain access into the seat of power, which is Abuja. It's appalling. It's unbearable.
Okay.
I don't know. What are the chiefs doing? The seats of all the chiefs, the chief of army staff, the chief of naval staff, the chief of air staff, the chief of defense staff, the minister of defense are all in Abuja. If you cannot secure Abuja, then there's a problem. If the seat of power could be invaded by terrorists, then there's a problem. Then nowhere is safe. It meant that you cannot sleep in your eyes and in your house, I beg your pardon, and expect that you wake up one morning and you'll be going about your daily activity. This is not what it's supposed to be. Our seat of power must be secured by all the chiefs. You have the basic military formations in Abuja. The seat of defense is in Abuja. Please, I don't get it. When these new chiefs were appointed, they were given the marching orders. For how long would we continue to give them the marching orders? The thing is gradually crawling from the Abuja Kaduna corridor, the Niger Abuja corridor, and then coming directly now from the Kogi Abuja corridor into Abuja. Abuja has been at the center. Look at the activities of bandits in Kogi, the activities of bandits in Niger State, and then take it to Kaduna State, and then to Nasarawa State and Plateau State. They are aware of all of this. Do they not know the measures to have been taken to secure Abuja? People were in their estates, and then bandits went into the estate to kidnap persons in the state of power. It's not acceptable by me.
Hi, Chief. One thing that Nigerians are left bewildered with is the fact that the audacity exhibited by these kidnappers, these terrorists, or these bandits is what is keeping Nigerians on mute and speechless. The audacity to not only kidnap these persons but to also kill them because they feel money is not coming forth or negotiations are being stalled. What do you think gave birth to that audacity? Are they not even afraid of the Nigerian army or the Nigerian navy or the Nigerian security agencies that they could caught up with them at any point in time, that they have to go ahead to kill Nigerian citizens like that just because they felt negotiations have been stalled? What could give birth to such audacity?
They are only depending on their firepower. The amount of small arms and light weapons in their possession. Sometimes you want to see that some of the weapons these people bring out are superior to the firepower of our agencies. That's why sometimes when they meet at the theater, the result is usually very bloody. And so what is encouraging them sometimes to beat their chest when they go out, one is the number they have, the number of persons they take out, and then the firepower within available to them. talking about small arms and light weapons. But what has been baffling some of us who are security experts is the fact that we do not know how these persons access. No, I will not say we do not know. We have a fair idea that some of these things are manufactured by them, while others are bought for them by their sponsors. But what they carry out are usually very heavy firepower that help some of them to do and achieve what they want to achieve. It gives them that courage. But beyond all of that, don't forget that some of these persons are on drugs. When they go for such actions, they are put on drugs. And so the influence on drugs in them changes their entire mentality. And so they see nobody and they only follow the last instruction given to them with the influence of that those drugs working in them. So the place of drug too is a very big one, and then the superior firepower in their possession is another very big one.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, High Chief. Now, we are going to go on a break shortly, and when we're back, but let me put you on the spot that when we're back, we are going to be looking at some of the actions that Mr. President is taking to make sure that Nigerians breathe from the menace of insecurity. And talking about some of these actions is the deployment of forest guards with better training and modern technological gadgets and weapons to strengthen security in the country. We want to ask if you see this coming into fruition and the effect this might have in the annals of fighting insecurity in the country. But that will be after the break. Do stay with us. Please stay on the line. We'll be back in a moment. It's on record where every word matters. Do join us again.
Avenue to blast your brand. Why not let us be your detonator at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM? We've got you covered. For advert placement, sponsorship, partnership, call us on 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, 0902 745 3931, or send an email to info@highimpactstudio.com.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chuboma. I started by trading on motorcycle scrappers.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan 4 years course, must be 4 years course.
When you dispense, a pharmacist dispenses a drug to a patient, the name of the drug must be written on the envelope.
On Record is a 45-minute program where we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview.
Join us 9 a.m. every weekday on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On Record.
Every word matters.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us on the program On Record, where every word matters. Our conversation this morning is bordered on insecurity, the rise in recent kidnappings and outrageous demands by the kidnappers. And my guest this morning is a security expert and consultant, High Chief Darlington Umoru. Thank you for staying with us on the conversation, Chief Darlington.
Yes, what's the question again, please? Sorry.
Yes, the question, I was taking you to some of the remedies that Mr. President has embarked on. President Bola Tinubu recently said that the government is considering the deployment of forest guards with better training and modern technological gadgets and weapons to strengthen insecurity in the country. We want to see if this is going to be successful and if this will in any way, from a security perspective, security consultant and expert perspective if this will materialize and bring the needed succor that Nigerians are yearning for?
The issue of the forest guard has been on. They've been there. I think they are just waiting for the government to give them a nod. But so we are getting some of these things wrong. You see, what I've come to notice in Nigeria as a country is the fact that for every given opportunity, we want to create paramilitary bodies or what you call security agencies outside what we already have. Now, have we really considered what the pain has been with the Nigerian military? Now we have three arms of the Nigerian military.
Okay.
The Naval Force, the Air Force, and the Army. Right?
Yes.
Are we saying these bodies that the Constitution provides for as the bodies to secure our national or international integrity cannot do the job if they are given the right equipment? Is the issue in number or one body, forest guard, to guard forests? What would they be guarding? To guard against terrorists, to fight terrorists? Would they have better training than the Nigerian military? Would they have better equipment than the Nigerian military that has achieved the shores of our nation? Understand it. What is the essence? Is the essence to boost or capitalize some economic lapses or gaps? Or is the yearning for that body actually coming in to actually fight against terror? If the Nigerian military cannot get the amount of equipment that could quell or conquer insecurity, talking about terrorists, then what gives any other person the impression that the forest guard will be able to achieve that? I'd like somebody to provide an answer to that for me. Because sometimes when we do some things and we speak, that body has been on. They've been on and they've been fighting to be given constitutional recognition. To do what? They say they are forest guard. I've looked into some of the activities they have presented. Is the essence of having forest guard not done well and then tackle terrorists in Nigeria?
Okay.
I'd like to discuss it. I'd like to see how the Constitution will not allow them, take them away and make them state actors where they will not begin to bear arms. We are talking about the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. We are crying about the presence of illicit firearms in overwhelming. We have talked about the amount of the proliferation of these small arms and light weapons that is creating problems. And we are thinking of how to mop them, but rather we are increasing them. Every paramilitary agency in Nigeria now are calling to bear arms. Immigration are bearing arms now. That of customs is understood. The other day we had situations where the Federal Road Safety tested the waters when one of the officers read a speech on behalf of their boss, talking about asking for the federal government to give them the power to bear arms. And then when they tested the water and discovered that people frowned at it, and then we started seeing denials and all of that. And then people started talking about no, that the demand didn't say this. Could somebody read a speech provided on behalf of the Corps Marshal? And then at the end of the day, you are not telling the statements are not coming out that the Corps Marshal was misrepresented. Yeah, I don't get it.
But I Chief, with the issue of state police, will it contribute a notable quota to tackle insecurity in the country?
Well, to some extent, yes. They all have their advantages and disadvantages. The problem you ask yourself now, at this point in time, where our democracy is not right yet, do you think that that's the challenge? Everything has its good side and its bad side. There's an advantage to that. Yes, they will contribute. Yet, would the state apparatus allow them to function constitutionally without diverting some of them into various political uses?
Okay.
Would they be politicized? In addition to wanting to carry out that primary responsibility of fighting, look, the job of insecurity is not that of the police. It's basically that of the military, with assistance from other security agencies like the police, providing certain aspects of providing information on certain areas. Before they meet on the round table. You have the DSS involved, you have the Nigerian police involved, you have all of them involved providing information. But the primary core of the battle is for the military.
Okay.
And so the question I thought we would ask is, why is it difficult for the military? That's why I talked about the seat of power, Abuja. Abuja. Why should it happen? Why should it happen?
Okay, now,
we saw how they delved into the Nigerian Defense Academy a couple of years ago.
Yes.
They were bold enough to go into the Nigerian Defense Academy. We saw that the terrorists have visited some barracks and camps in the past in the northeast. But gradually, you are allowing it to come into Abuja. Then there's a big problem.
Okay, Chief, there's some time ago there was this allegation put forth against the former administration that in its strategies to quelling insecurity and fighting insecurity, it's both deploying the carrot stick, the carrot and the stick method in fighting insecurity. There was an accusation against the administration, former administration, that it actually brought in some repentant Boko Haram members into the security institution. Could that be one of the challenges that has, that has made it seem as if the security agencies on the institutions has been infested or compromised in one way or the other?
No. It has nothing to do with compromise, please.
But there are statements and allegations that there was a time of they deployed and brought in some of these repentant bandits into the institutions of fighting insecurity.
It is the position of the government and it's the decision of the government. Sometimes some of those repentant bandits can give you quality information that will help your military.
Do they need to be a member of the military?
These terrorists have been a part of their own arrangement. Now, when they were arrested, information were gotten from them. And then now, if they are profiled, when they are profiled, and you see, sometimes when some of these arrests are made, everybody you find in that area, you take them. Some of them are taken in the forest and all of that. And then when they are brought back, they are profiled. When they are profiled, it's not as easy as some of us think the thing goes. Some of us are thinking that they are brought there and then immediately they say, okay, you can go. No, a lot of profiling takes place. And when a lot of profiling takes place, reports are written. Those reports are studied by experts. And then when they are studied by experts, they now look at it and say, okay, this one can go, this one can go, this one can go. What are the reasons why this one can go? You look at it, their involvement are either minimal or sometimes they are coerced. Don't forget that these terrorists, they coerce persons to gain their number. And they recruit some to gain their number. And so if you are taking against your wish and you are afraid that if you make any move to run, they will kill you. You'll be there. By the time arrest is made and you are taken away from that place, it's an opportunity for you to now speak out. And if you spoke out and that thing is investigated and they saw that you did not join voluntarily, or you are not one of the leaders, or you are not on the payroll and you have been looking for an opportunity to be arrested and run away, and then you got that, you will be let go.
Okay.
These are some of the things they do in the course of profiling them.
But do we then need to bring them into the army? Do we then need to bring them in to give them employment into the army? Or
was it army they were brought into, or you are referring to the case of one that was brought into the Nigerian police?
Well, it is a security agencies, and it has its own disadvantage.
Let's get it right. No. Let's get it right, because this is a national radio.
Yes.
Let's get it right. Sometimes we mix up some of these facts, and then it becomes a challenge. When we mix up some of these facts, it's not as if we deliberately do them, but sometimes we just generalize all of them. Okay, one of them was actually adopted into the Nigerian police force, not that it was the Nigerian army. But even so, there are more to it that some of us do not know. The more to it is that that person could be a key quality information provider who has an idea of the in and out of some of these terrorist groups, particularly the department where he served.
Okay.
And so could give quality information that will help the Nigerian police or the military in great certain areas and know certain things. I have defined ambush severally.
Yes.
Severally on television and on radio. Ambush is information of the movement of one group given away by somebody, and then those people are waited and then be attacked. And so if you have somebody whom you got from that other group, the terrorist side now, and then is ready to work with you, and then he will give you all he knows that you do not know because he had been an insider.
Okay.
So if he has been an insider, he will give you quality information that will help conquer that his former group.
Okay.
So they have the advantages. Elsewhere in the world, there are some technological gadgets that could be planted inside some of these persons, and when you release them, when they go back to the camp, it will help you to monitor the movement of their group and team.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Time is not always enough for us to discuss issues, of this nature. And Chief Darlington Umoru has been with us from 9 a.m. this morning, and now the time is 9:45, where we will be drawing the curtain. Hi, Chief Darlington. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning, always making yourself available, whether it's convenient or not, for us to have a robust and perspective-driven conversation on issues of insecurity in Nigeria. Thank you.
I was going to appeal for you to even let me go if the interview was going to be extended some more. Because I actually came out of a meeting just to honor you, because I had given my words, before now. Okay. Otherwise, you are taking too much of my time. But it's all the thing. Another service to the nation.
Yes.
I'm also here for a service to the nation as well. Yes. It's like sharing myself.
Yes. And we really appreciate
my
that.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. And that's where we draw the curtain today on record, where every word matters. My name, once again, is Oyempriye Krumale. We got to run, but we'll come your way again tomorrow. It's another day. Do have a splendid day ahead.